Welcome to the Yes and podcast, a space where we embrace life with courage, purpose, and possibility. Hi, I'm Claire Dar. I'm a former corporate lawyer turned executive coach. I'm a wife, a mom, and a believer in living boldly. Here, we're going to dive into saying yes to what truly matters: family, faith, career, and creating a legacy of joy and fulfillment. Together, we'll explore what happens when we step beyond the limits, ask for more, and say yes and to the extraordinary. It's time to live a life you can't wait to wake up for. Let's get started.
Hi there. Welcome back to the Yes and podcast. So, today's episode, maybe it's a little different. It's a quiet nod. Um, maybe a deep breath. It's a moment of recognition for the woman who is carrying more than anyone realizes and doing it with grace, even when she feels like she's barely holding it together. So if you're sitting nodding, this one's for you. Um, Sometimes these podcasts may be a little like therapy for me, talking out past experiences, working through things that I've experienced in my life and things that I continue to see my clients and friends experience. So I want to acknowledge what's unseen here. There's a weight that doesn't show up on paper. That mental checklist that never gets crossed off. Um, the layer of emotional responsibility that no one else is tracking, but you are. So it's something like, you remember the dentist appointment, you remember the birthday gift for the classmates, the teacher gift, the signing up for camp when it needed to be done, the friends coming over, Father's Day gifts, the follow-up email from 3 days ago. You're the one who makes the sunscreen get packed up. Will you sign all of the permission slips? The one who remembers that you can't have peanut butter in the lunchroom. All of these things, these are the invisible workload items. That's what it is. And it's real. And it's exhausting. And honestly, it's rarely acknowledged. These are the things, I don't know about you, I'm just going to voice it because if I feel this way, maybe you do. These are the things I'm like, would my husband even know to do this? These things are important. Has it ever even gotten on his radar? And this is nothing, no disservice to him. It's not his fault, but they're all of the things I'm doing. That invisible workload, like I say, that goes to make everything work, right? And sometimes I feel like I'm drowning in it. I don't know about you. And there is an emotional labor to holding it all, to being the one who keeps it all together, the glue. Because you're not just managing logistics, you're managing emotions. You might be checking your own tone to keep the peace sometimes, anticipating the meltdowns before they happen. I think that tends to be my life quite often. Soothing the feelings or interpreting the moods and trying to think 5 steps ahead of everyone. Do you do that? And you're the thermostat really for the whole family's energy. And it might even be you're the thermostat for your team at work too. So it's in both places. And you want to know the wildest part about all of this? You do most of it automatically. It is so ingrained in you, you might not even realize how much you're doing until you hit a wall and you wonder, why am I so tired? Why am I resentful? Why am I angry? Why is it bothering me now? Why now? It's that proverbial straw that broke the camel's back. Why? And just to make things a little bit more complicated, you are deeply grateful for what you have. You love your family. You're proud of your work and what you've achieved and accomplished. And you wouldn't trade your life. You wouldn't. But also, you feel guilty for not enjoying it more. You feel guilty when you're irritable, guilty for needing a break, guilty for secretly wishing someone else would just handle it all for once. But the way you want it handled, right? So let me say this clearly. You can be grateful and still need rest. You can love your life and still feel stretched thin. This doesn't make you ungrateful. It doesn't make you a failure. It makes you human. So here's what I know you deserve to hear. And here's what I know to be true. You are not lazy. You're not failing. You're not too sensitive or too much. You're carrying an invisible workload that would level most people. And you're showing up every day for your people, your career, your community, and you're trying to show up for yourself. I mean, you're really, truly the hero of this story. But here's the hard truth. If you keep running at full max all out without checking in on you, it will catch up to you. And you deserve more than just surviving your life. And so what if, instead of trying to do it all better, you actually asked, what could I put down? What if you stopped aiming for balance and you started aiming for sustainability? I love that word, sustainability, consistency, intentionality, all those words. I did a podcast a few weeks ago now. So it's maybe 2 or 3 podcasts back where I talked about harmony instead of balance. I would recommend you go back and listen to that one if you haven't already. I love harmony instead of balance. But what if you gave yourself permission to reset? And not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to know that this pattern you're in won't work forever. You need a reframe here, a gentle shift. And this is your life, by the way. Not the one coming later when things settle down. This is it. This is your life. There used to be a TV show. It was in England. I'm sure they had a version here in America. It was when I was growing up, like in the 70s and 80s, called This Is Your Life, and they would take a celebrity and the host would surprise the celebrity with this big red book, This Is Your Life, and sit the celebrity down. And then they would slowly bring people in who the person had an impact on, and they would tell a little story and then sit them down, and then tell a little story and then sit them down. I often thought this might sound a bit morbid, but I often thought it was like amazing that they would do that for the person before they died, right? Because most people hear all of the, most of the good stuff that's said about someone happens at their funeral, right? People talking about them or in a eulogy or a memorial or something like that. But This Is Your Life really showed just the impact that person had on so many people. It really was a gift. I didn't appreciate it as a kid. I kind of thought it was boring, to be honest. But now I think back on it, I think about how impactful that show must have been for so many people, and for the people who got to say how this person had influenced them or impacted their life. But I love the title. This is your life. This is it. And so you can fully embrace and accept that. Then maybe you can fully embrace that you're allowed to live it with more ease and more clarity and more space to breathe. I really don't have any homework as such for you today, other than for you to ponder that. Think about it. Think about this beautiful, vibrant, amazing, blessed life that you've created so far, that you're thinking, what, do I deserve it? Am I failing? Have I done enough? I don't feel truly happy. That makes me a bad person. Any of the things. What if you were allowed to live it right now with more ease and more clarity and more space, more time even? And you get to do all of this without blowing your life up. You don't have to change everything. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to move. You don't have to radically change anything. I want you to know that with simple micro habits that you adopt, that work for you, that you enjoy, that are fun, you know what's good for you. You know the things that fill you up. You know the things that light you up. You just might have forgotten, or you might not have given yourself the opportunity lately to think about it because of all of the things we just talked about, that invisible workload you're carrying. And to think about one more simple thing for you just is too much, right? But I do want you just to sit with this. Let my words sit with you for a while, for as long as they need to. And think about what that life could be like for you. And if this episode has hit home for you, you know, some of the things I described, the guilt, the feelings of not wanting to have to carry it all, but not being able to put it down. If it's hit home for you, I just want you to know I've been there. I carried that invisible workload for so long, until I realized, honestly, this is the realization I had. It's not noble to sacrifice myself in the process. It's not noble to people please the heck out of my life, to say yes to everything so I'm saying no to myself, to stretch myself so thin, to always be the one fixing and doing and being and with all of the answers. It's not noble. It's really not, because I was spreading myself so thin that I wasn't able to help or be with the people I really wanted to help and be with. And I also want you to know support exists. You do not have to keep doing it alone. There are so many resources available to you. This is a beautiful time to be in this kind of space, because there are podcasts, there are webinars, there are amazing audiobooks, there are programs. There are so many things you could do from your phone in 10 minutes a day in the car that could radically improve your life. And I'll be sharing more in the next episode, I think, about how you can take some small, doable steps to shift your life and your energy this summer, those little micro habits I talked about. But for now, your only job is to pause. Maybe place your hand on your heart and take a breath, a good breath. And remember, you're doing more than enough. You are more than enough. And you are not invisible here. I know what you're doing. I see what you're doing. I know what you're doing. And You're doing amazingly. So until next time, I hope this has given you a little peace, a little space, and got you thinking about something. Have a beautiful day.
Hi, it's Claire here, and I'm inviting you to do something fantastic for you this summer. It's to reset, and to reset without blowing up your life or your schedule. What I want you to know is you don't need more willpower. You just need a better rhythm. And I designed the Summer Reset Bundle as your go-to toolkit for really feeling better fast and then sustaining it. I've included 3 powerful programs all in one place designed to help you clear your mental clutter, realign your routines, and then finally start showing up for the life you actually want. So, if your days are running you, or if you're tired of the hustle but just unsure how you can slow down without falling behind, and if you crave more peace and progress, this is for you. Simple tools, strategic shifts, sustainable results. It starts at $77 and your reset starts now. Thank you for joining me on the Yes and podcast. If this episode inspired you to say yes to more in your life, I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who needs to hear this message. Remember, life is meant to be lived fully, one courageous yes at a time. Until next time, I'm Claire Daw, cheering you on as you create a life of peace, purpose, and boundless possibilities. Keep dreaming big, and don't forget to say yes and